What is up, everybody? My name is Justin. This is Forever Self-Employed. In today's video, we are going to be talking about what to do when the customer does not pay you. I'm joined with a special guest. Aaron is in the building. Aaron, how's it going, man?
What is up, my man?
Glad to have you back. This is a situation that I've only come across a handful of times. However, it is very annoying whenever you don't get paid for a job that you've done. So you actually have a story of a situation that you had when you didn't get paid. And so I was hoping you can come on the channel and kind of talk to us about that and tell us what we can do if we're ever confronted with a situation like this.
Yeah, absolutely. I had a situation with a customer. First got started in pressure washing. I landed this big job. It was one of my first higher ticket residential house washes. It was like $1,700 and about a 4,500 square foot house, with a deck and a bunch of other stuff, right? And it was going to be a good day for me. I go to the house. We're there all day long, and cleaning, get it done. And I obviously do my normal thing. I'm sending them the invoice. Normally people pay within a day or immediately or a couple days, right? If, they got to let the checks cash. Well, these people were doctors. They didn't have to cash no checks. They had the money. A week goes by, nothing, no response, right? So I send the invoice again. Maybe they didn't get it. Maybe it went to spam, oddly, right? Nothing, right? So I email, hey, did you get that invoice? Right? Nothing. A few days go by. I start calling. This is about week 1.5.
That's when you start getting a little bit worried, right?
You start getting a little, because in the early portion of your business, like every dollar matters. Like every single dollar is going back into marketing and everything. So I start getting a little worried, and so I start calling them. Right? Hey, just following up. Nothing. Same number they called me on. So a month goes by, man, of me following up. I didn't do the old, tracksuit Russian mob thing where I pay them a visit. Didn't do anything like that. But I definitely had to reach out to my attorney and have them reach out and send a letter, and the check showed up in the mail.
So, Aaron, did you have any type of contract or anything in place that kind of helped you out in the event that someone didn't pay you?
Not at that portion of my business, right? I was brand new. I wish I did. It would obviously kind of anchored everyone into the agreement and set the expectations up front for the payment terms. And, if it was late, there would be, interest, right? There would be late fees, stuff like that. I didn't have anything like that. I was brand new. And I obviously couldn't afford an attorney at, $500, $750, $1,000 to write the thing. And you don't really know what to look for, right? You don't know that people are going to do that, and that it's not that common, but it does happen. And that was a big hit to me, man. It took me a lot of time out of my pocket and a lot of worry.
So we have actually put together a contract. We've had lawyers put it together, and it's to help prevent these type of situations from happening. So could you say that if you would have had this in place, that it would have kind of made a difference and, things would have gone a little bit differently?
Absolutely. I think that it definitely sets the expectation on payment terms and agreement. It doesn't let people drag their feet, right? And it also creates a little bit of urgency with them to pay, because if they drag their feet, then they're starting to pay late fees and stuff like that, right? That you can obviously follow up on as well. It's not something that you ever it's like insurance. You don't want to use it, but you have it. What the contract has been put together. It took us about, the first time I got it done was a few years ago. And then my brother and I were on site, and we were seeing all of these liabilities with either people not paying on time or light sockets or vine remnants that somebody expected us to literally scrape off the side of their house. Is impossible, right? So we compiled all of this over the last 3 or 4 years, went back to our attorneys, had them update it, and it is just super stacked from payment terms to everything. So I definitely recommend having it, as well as having your insurance. It's like a buffer to the insurance.
Right. So if you guys don't have a contract in place currently, check out the first link in the comment section and the description. It just kind of removes some of that liability off of yourself and puts it more so onto the customer for things that you might not have even expected to be on the property. Especially if you're a newer guy, you could potentially get hit with somebody who's looking to just take advantage of a contractor who didn't know any better. So having this in place, as you mentioned, with insurance is just a great buffer to have. And then with regards to like having them fill it out, Aaron, do you present it with the quote?
Sure. So when the guys get it, there's an implementation guide. It's going to go through all that, where to put it, how to hide the URL on your site. We don't want it out there. Also, if you're going to send them to a Google Drive or something like that, how to make that unshareable. Basically, what happens is it's like you and I, when we signed up for Apple or Google or whatever, we agreed to a lot of the terms just by pressing a button, right? We didn't click through and read the terms. We just agreed to it. So this is similar in that way that everyone is pretty familiar with, that when they agree to the proposal, they are agreeing to this agreement. So they can choose to go through and read it, but we don't brandish it in front of them. We don't hit them over the head with it. But if they want to, they can choose to go through it. They can read it. And if somebody doesn't want to do business with you because you have a contract in place, then consider yourself very lucky for saving yourself that Karen or that red flag who definitely wanted to try to take advantage of you or had some little sketchy stuff on site that, could have broken, and you could be getting the call and be hung out to dry for it.
Right. So it almost acts as a deterrent to customers that you might not have even wanted to work for in the first place. Right.
Very much so. Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely. So like I said, check out the first link in the comment section description. But Aaron, was there any signs when you first quoted it or first spoke to the customer that this was going to be the case after you did the job?
It's one of those quotes that I got that I was so stoked. Look, I know how new guys are, man. When you get a house like this, it's like it's a big house, you're just like, hopefully I can get this at a big ticket, right? And I could, put the money back into my marketing or something. And I did. I never even met with the customer. They were never there when I quoted it. They were never there when I was cleaning it. They had like a nanny there, right? Or people, maybe one person coming in and out. Yeah, so they just called me and basically asked for the estimate, and I went over there and quoted it, and they accepted immediately.
Is that how you do most of your quotes, Aaron? Is it you don't really even speak to the customer that much?
Sometimes depends on how large it is, how intricate it is. Obviously if they've got some weird stuff going on that they want to talk about, usually they'll leave that in the message when they contact me.
Right.
But if it's just like, hey, wash my house, I probably will just correspond via email, via text, and give them a quote.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, and I want to have you back on to kind of talk about how you get some of these bigger ticket jobs because, obviously you're known as the big ticket man, lean and mean, big ticket. That's how we roll. So I want to have you back on to talk about, some of these higher end customers, how to work with them and how it's different from, maybe some of these bigger subdivisions and stuff with some smaller, less pricey homes in them. But anyway, appreciate you coming on, Aaron, and sharing with us what to do whenever customers don't pay. But we need a word of the day. What would you like the word of the day to be?
Word of the day is Karen.
Word of the day is Karen. If you guys made it this far in the video, go ahead and comment down below Karen. If you haven't gotten your contract, check out the first link in the comment section description. My name is Justin. This is Forever Self-Employed. And until next time, hustle hard and get that money, baby. Peace.